We've been a leader in banking for more than 100 years. You'll find us here, at home, on your phone, and everywhere you go. Renaissance Bank. Understanding you. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Sponsored by Renaissance Bank.
Good morning, Northeast Mississippi. This is Newsbreak for Friday, June 2nd. I'm Brad Locke. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to catch Newsbreak each weekday at 7 a.m. You can watch it on djournal.com, Facebook, YouTube, or the Daily Journal's mobile apps for Apple and Android devices. Going to take a quick look at news, sports, and weather for Northeast Mississippi. Let's start with the weather forecast. Looks like we'll be in the clear now for Elvis Fest this weekend. Some thunderstorms that have been forecast have been moved back. We'll get to that in a moment. First, today's forecast. Partly cloudy with a high of 86, low of 67, 20% chance of rain. The 3-day outlook: Saturday, originally thunderstorms were forecast. Now they're saying just partly cloudy skies, high of 88, low of 68, just a 20% chance of rain. Those thunderstorms are likely, however, on Sunday with a high of 85, low of 69, a 90% chance of rain. More of that on Monday with a high of 86, low of 63, again, a 90% chance of rain. Let's take a look now at some of the top stories from the Daily Journal and djournal.com on this Friday. A National Transportation Research Group has confirmed what many have been saying, that Mississippi has a lot of roads and bridges in bad shape. TRIP, a Washington, D.C. based group, released a report during a news conference at the state capitol on Thursday. The report concluded that if Mississippi can't complete needed transportation projects, it will hurt the state's ability to, quote, enhance economic development opportunities and quality of life. The report states that more than half of the state's major locally and state-maintained roads are in poor or mediocre condition. The information was gleaned from Federal Highway Administration data gathered annually by the Mississippi Department of Transportation. In terms of bridges, 12% statewide were listed as deficient, the 12th highest share in the nation. The report reinforces findings by the Mississippi Economic Council, which has reported that 936 state bridges and more than 24,500 miles of state highways are in disrepair. Most of the state's elected leaders admit infrastructure issues must be addressed, but they have been unable to agree on a funding source. Surveillance cameras for Tupelo Park would cost the city about $35,000. On Tuesday, Ward 7 Councilman Willie Jennings asked the City Council to consider installing 9 cameras at Theron Nichols Park. The move is expected to be a precursor to putting more cameras in parks and buildings across Tupelo. Jennings said Theron Nichols could serve as a test platform to give city officials a chance to see which cameras work better in different situations. That information then could be used if and when the program expands. Officials with Lackey's Electrical said 9 cameras would cover the major areas of the park. The camera's software and networking system would cost around $35,000. Back in December, multiple shots were fired following a dispute during a basketball game at Theron Nichols. 2 juveniles were injured, and at least 8 people have been indicted in connection with the event. Shortly after the shooting, 1 camera was installed at the park on a test basis. And in sports, Mississippi State's Brent Rooker has been named Co-National Player of the Year by Collegiate Baseball. He's the first Bulldog to be selected for the honor by the publication. The junior first baseman was also named a first-team All-American. Rooker leads the country in doubles and slugging percentage, plus he leads the SEC in batting average, hits, home runs, and several other offensive categories. Rooker shared the honor with Brendan McKay of Louisville. The honor was announced on the eve of MSU's NCAA regional opener. The Bulldogs are scheduled to face South Alabama at 6 p.m. today in Hattiesburg. Host team Southern Miss meets Illinois Chicago in the other game. That does it for Newsbreak on this Friday. We do want to remind you to check out one of the podcasts we produce here at the Daily Journal, The Memo, All Things Northeast Mississippi, with myself and W. Derek Russell. New episodes every Wednesday and Friday. Find it in iTunes, your podcast apps, or at memo.djournal.com. Be sure to look for today's episode, in which Jenna Parsons visits with us to talk about this week's food section. Also, guest co-host M. Scott Morris offers his review of the newest Pirates of the Caribbean movie. And also, we discuss the Elvis Festival going on this weekend. All the stories I talked about today you can find in your Daily Journal or at djournal.com. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at djournalnow. Give our Facebook page a like as well. That does it for Newsbreak on this Friday. I'm Brad Locke. Y'all have a good weekend.